We're on the record in two cases. First case is styled State of Texas versus Cody Wayne McCarroll. Second case is also styled Cody Wayne McCarroll. First cause number is cause number 317994. Second case is cause number 328693-1. Mr. McCarroll, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. McCarroll, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
I do.
Okay, you may put your hand down, Mr. McCarroll. And again, Mr. McCarroll, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
That's good. Mr. McCarroll, I have before me an information in cause number 317994. This information alleges that on or about January 8th of 2018, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a motor vehicle in a public place, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. Second, this information also alleges that prior to the commission of this offense, that you on March 7th, 2015, in County Court at Law number 3 of Jefferson County, Texas, and cause number 311271, that you were convicted of the misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated, and that conviction became final before the commission of this offense. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Now, to the offense of driving while intoxicated, second, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty, sir.
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Freely.
And are you pleading guilty because you're guilty?
I'm very guilty.
Okay, now, Mr. McCarroll, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. On page 2 of this document, there are two sets of initials. The first set of initials is on a line next to a box that's checked guilty. And the second set of initials is on a line that reads, I do not request discovery of the evidence. I waive my right to request discovery in the case and choose to enter a plea of guilty or no contest. Are these your initials?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that says defendant. That signature purports to be your signature. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document, which is a trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, there's a signature at the bottom above the line that's titled defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir, it is.
There are two boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, I do.
Second box states that you're waiving, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. McCarroll, prior to signing and initialing these documents, you signed a document that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendant Without an Attorney. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, I did.
And you initialed the bottom line that said that you wanted to waive your right to an attorney and to represent yourself.
Yes, sir.
And also, the court read to you the waiver that is on page 2 of State's Exhibit number 1, and where you voluntarily waive your right for an attorney. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, prior to signing and initiating these documents, did you have the opportunity to read the documents?
Yes, I did.
And did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir, I did.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
True.
Okay. State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's 1?
Yes, Your Honor, we would.
Mr. McCarroll, do you, State's Exhibit number 1 is the document that have your initials on page 2 and your signature on page 3. The state would like to use this document as evidence against you in your case. Is it all right for the state to use this document as evidence in your case?
Yes, sir.
Mr. McCarroll, states, no objection, State's Exhibit will, number 1 will be admitted. Mr. McCarroll, is there any evidence that you are currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, sir.
Okay, Mr. McCarroll, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of guilty and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, we do.
And what is that agreement?
The agreement is for Mr. McCarroll to serve 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail. And this also will run concurrent with cause number 328693.
Now is the, oh, okay, that's cause number 328693 and -1.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. Okay, let me, I still need to see this. Mr. McCarroll, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail. You'll be given credit for any time that you're entitled to get by law. Now, the court cost in this case is $502. Mr. McCarroll, would you be able to pay the $502?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, Mr. McCarroll, I have a copy of your affidavit of indigency. Have there been any changes on this document?
No, sir.
Okay, so at that time, the court found that you were indigent. The court will find that you're still indigent. And because of the finding of indigency, the $502 that you are required to pay in court costs is going to be waived, which means you will not have to, which means you will not have to pay it because the court has found that you are indigent.
Okay,
And
thank you, sir.
okay, and so Mr. McCarroll, you'll have to serve 180 days in Jefferson County Jail. You'll be given credit for any time that you're entitled to get by law, and the court cost in this case is going to be waived because the court is going to find that you're indigent pursuant to Article 42.15 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. Now, Mr. McCarroll, we have another case. This other case is in cause number 328693-1. And the information in this case alleges that on or about December 4th of 2020, while you're in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to Class A misdemeanor offense of burglary of a vehicle. Mr. McCarroll, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. McCarroll, how did you plead?
Guilty.
Okay, now you're pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Freely.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Guilty.
Okay. Mr. McCarroll, I have before me a document that is titled the misdemeanor plea admonishments. It's also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. On page 2 of this document, there are a set of initials. There are 2 sets of initials. The first set of initials is on a line next to a box that's checked guilty. The second set of initials is on a line next to a statement that reads, I do not request discovery of the evidence. I waive my right to request discovery in this case and choose to enter a plea of guilty or no contest. Now, are these your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, Mr. McCarroll, there's a signature above the line that says defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. McCarroll, the next document is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. And Mr. McCarroll, on this document, there is a signature above the line that says defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir, it is.
And at the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that are checked. The first box checked states that this is a plea bargain case. You have no right of appeal. And the second box states that you have waived, which means you've given up your right to an appeal. Mr. McCarroll, do you understand that?
Yes, sir, I do.
And Ms. McCarroll, prior to signing these documents, you signed the document that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. And at the bottom of that document, you initialed the line that says, I want to waive my right to an attorney and represent myself. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, correct.
And you were read the waiver of counsel that is in State's Exhibit Number 1. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. McCarroll, prior to signing and initialing these documents, did you have an opportunity to read the documents?
Yes, sir, I did.
Did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir, I do.
Is everything in these documents true and correct to the best?
Yes, sir. True.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1. State, you like to offer State's 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. McCarroll, the state is offering State's Exhibit Number 1 State's Exhibit number 1 is a document that have your initials on page 2 and your signature on page 3. The state would like to use this document as evidence in your case against you. Is it all right for the state to use this document as evidence in your case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no objection. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. McCarroll, is there any evidence that you're currently mentally incompetent in this case?
No, sir.
Mr. McCarroll, I will accept your plea guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. I will also find that your pleas and waivers was freely and voluntarily given. And we will also find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. Now, State, do we have a bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, we do.
What is that agreement?
On cause number 328693-1, Mr. McCarroll is to serve 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail. This case will run concurrent with the previous case, cause number 317994.
Okay. Mr. McCarroll, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in Jefferson County Jail. You'll be given credit for any time that you are entitled to get by law. And in this case, Mr. McCarroll, the court cost is $327, and the court has previously found you to be indigent. Therefore, the court cost in this case of $327 is going to be waived pursuant to Article 42.15 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. Mr. McCarroll, do you understand the state's offer and the court's adjustment?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that is fair and just?
Yes, sir, I do.
And do you accept the state's offers?
Yes, sir, I accept it.
And, okay, the court will follow the plea bargain agreement. Oh, and the court will also, this case will also run concurrent with cause number 317994. And the court will follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the DA's office, and the court has to make a finding that you are indigent, and the court costs in this case will be waived. Mr. McCarroll, this will conclude both of your cases. We would ask that you please follow the bailiff, and you have a blessed day.
You too. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.